Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reading Lizard Feet by Sylvia Andrews and Victor Tavares. Let's begin. Sierra paused at the stairs at her new condo building. She liked living here, except for one thing. Sure enough, a curly-tailed lizard scuttled across the step and into the bushes. Then a pointy green face appeared on the railing and stared down at her, unblinking. A green anole? The creature was small but creepy. It didn't help that her brother Chris had caught one the day they moved in and chased her with it. She remembered the pulsing skin of its belly as Chris thrust it close to her face, yelling, "Kiss it! Kiss it!" Oh dear. And that seems to be the green anole over there. Sierra shuddered. "Stop!" she told herself. "They're just lizards." As she reached the top of the stairs, the lizard leapt from the railing and raced up the breezeway wall. It was the same lizard that hung around the door all the time, the one Chris called Skitter. It settled, as usual, on the vine right above the door to their condo. Every time Sierra went in or out, she was afraid the thing would jump on her. She held her backpack over her head and shoved the door open. And there Sierra goes, running in fear of the lizards with the backpack over her head. Once she was safely inside, her fear turned into anger. "Disgusting lizards," she spat. "I'm sick of them. Catch them and kiss them," teased Chris. "Very funny," said Sierra. "I'm not touching those slimy lizards." And she wasn't putting up with them anymore either. Sierra grabbed the broom. Seconds later she was back in the breezeway, swiping at the lizards. The curly tails darted away, but Skitter just ran higher up the wall above the door. Sierra imagined him jumping down, his scrabbling little lizard feet in her hair. She dashed back inside, defeated. How could she get him to go away? And there's Sierra, trying to get rid of the lizards. And there's Chris, teasing Sierra. The next morning, Sierra rushed out with her backpack on her head. Her friend Gabby watched her from the sidewalk. "Lizards again?" asked Gabby. "Get a cat. We've had no lizards in our breezeway since we got Claus." "Mom wouldn't let me, but could you bring Claus over after school?" Sierra asked. "Sure." That afternoon, Sierra stood at the railing with Gabby, watching Claus hunt lizards. The cat stalked and pounced, and the lizards scurried away. Soon all had vanished except Skitter. He stayed high on the wall until Gabby pushed him gently with a stick. So there's Sierra and Gabby, her friend. There's Claus the cat chasing those lizards. And there's the green lizard, or the anole, that Chris calls Skitter. Skitter jumped to the breezeway floor and held very still, his eyes swiveling towards the big cat. Claus flattened herself and inched towards the lizard. "Just scare him away, Claus," Sierra whispered. "Don't kill him." Claus pounced. Sierra shrieked. Skitter leapt sideways. Then he scampered up the wall, ran across the ceiling, and disappeared out of the breezeway. "Told you Claus would do it," Gabby declared. "Lizards are something though, aren't they? How their toes can hold on even when they're upside down." Sierra nodded. She had really never thought about it. For 24 hours there were no lizards in the breezeway, but the next day there was an unusual cold snap. When Sierra left for school, a blast of freezing air hit her in the face, and Skitter was huddled in the shelter of a doorway again. So there's Claus the cat, and there's Skitter, the green lizard. The anole was still there after school. "No," Sierra groaned. She ducked her head and reached for the doorknob. Thunk! Something solid dropped onto her shoulder. Sierra yelped and frantically swiped at it. The thing slid to the floor. Skitter lay unmoving near her feet. Slowly, Sierra crouched. Would he leap at her, or was he dead? She pulled back when she saw him breathe. He'd recover when it got warmer. She turned into the condo. That's when she saw an unfamiliar cat sling across the breezeway. "No!" whispered Sierra. She stamped her foot at the cat. "Scat!" she shouted, but the cat just crouched, its eyes intent on the lizard. She had wanted to get rid of the anole, and here was her chance. It was just nature, she told herself. It wasn't her fault if the cat got him. So there's Sierra and the green anole. Would you be scared if that jumped on you? But she couldn't do it. She couldn't just leave Skitter there helpless. Slowly, carefully, she scooped him up with the corner of her jacket, trying not to touch him. Now what? The afternoon sun was still warming the west side of the building, around the corner. Sierra got a dish towel, wrapped the lizard in it, and set it on a windowsill in the sun. He still wasn't moving. He looked so small and pitiful. One foot hung outside the towel. Sierra hesitated. Then slowly, she reached out a finger. Lightly, she touched one tiny lizard toe. It wasn't slimy at all. "Come on, Skitter," she whispered. "Come to life again." And there's poor little Skitter, and Sierra trying to help him. And he did. 2 days later, when the weather was warm and sunny again, Sierra came home from school to see Skitter in his nook above the door. She didn't bother to hold her backpack over her head this time. "No lizard feet in my hair," she told the anole. "You owe me." They stared at one another. Then Sierra smiled, opened the door, and went inside. And that's the story of lizard feet. So, how did the story make you feel? What do you think the story was trying to tell us? Could it be that maybe not all animals are as bad as they seem? Do you think this story related to you in any way? Anyways, that was Lizard Feet by Sylvia Andrews, illustrated by Victor Tavares.